Hello and welcome back to Inside the Nest. I'm Oscar Venegas alongside Cathyrn Pace. With regular seasons coming to a close, we can see the postseason right around the corner. And if you've been keeping up with the Red Hawks, you know 4 of our fall teams have a chance to make runs in the playoffs.
Leading that pack is the men's soccer team who clinched the NJAC regular season championship on Wednesday against William Patterson. The Red Hawks traveled to the other side of Route 46 for a big rivalry matchup, getting the easy 4-1 win thanks to a goal by John B. Cajado and first-time career hat trick by Amir Lukovic. That means come October 29th, the Red Hawks get a first-round bye. They'll be the #1 seed when playing on November 1st. They've topped the NJAC table 3 times in the last 4 seasons. Since 2006, they've been regular season and conference champions 8 times and went to the semifinals just last year, but fell to Rowan 1-0.
Let's sort through some games from last week with the Red Hawk Rush. We start off with volleyball as they hosted Rutgers Newark for a must-win match on October 18th. The Red Hawks dominated the Scarlet Raiders, outscoring their opponent by 10 or more points in each set as MSU took the win in 3 sets. Delaney St. Pierre had a great night leading the team with 15 assists and 8 digs, while Leah Higgins led the team with 11 kills. The Red Hawks improved their season record to 15-11 and 4-4 against division opponents.
Had fun. I mean, it was just a fun day. That guy that was cheering was awesome. We love when everyone came out. We really feed off everyone's energy. We love seeing everyone that hasn't really seen the court this season get in, and that really got everyone motivated and excited. And I think that energy just carried on throughout the whole game.
It was senior night this past Wednesday for the women's soccer team as they faced William Patterson at Pitzer Field. Freshman Kylie Prendergast stole the show from seniors as she netted her first career hat trick against the Pioneers, her second one of the season. It was 0-0 until just 2 minutes into the second half. Prendergast recorded her first goal of the game in the 47th minute. Goal number 2 came off a great feed from Emmy Di Novellis. Prendergast didn't need any help sealing the hat trick as she netted her 3rd goal unassisted, and that's how it ended, 3-0, shutting out William Patterson.
I'm really proud of this senior class, and they've been awesome. They've allowed the young kids to come in and flourish, and that's the thing they've done the best. They've established an identity and a culture.
We wanted to come out and get a win tonight, and 3-0 is the best result you could get as far as points go. So it's always good to have the shutout. It's always good to put 3 in the back of their net. So we're just really excited with the result, and everyone just was super selfless tonight, and we did it for each other.
Definitely just hard work on and off the field, and definitely in the off season. I know we all take a lot of accountability for how hard we've been working, and I know we work hard for each other, not just ourselves, and that's definitely been a big part of how we've been doing this year.
Recently, the only thing women's soccer knows is dubs, recording their 9th shutout of the season against Rutgers Camden this past Saturday, 3-0. Aileen Cahill keeps Cahilling it as she netted the only goal of the first, a penalty kick for her 14th goal of the season, which leads the NJAC. Prendergast continued her season of dominance as she netted 2 goals in the second half within 1 minute of each other. Those 2 goals moved Prendergast 3rd in goals in the NJAC with 12, just 2 behind Cahill. Their record goes to 15-1 and 7-1 in the conference. The team plays their final game of the season this Wednesday at home against Kane, riding a 4-game winning streak. Men's soccer headed into Saturday as the champs of the NJAC facing Rutgers Camden. If you came to see goals for this one, then you're out of luck. Game ended in a 0-0 tie. Goalie Shane Keenan had 3 saves in what was a defensive clinic by the Red Hawks. Men's soccer is 6-0-1 in the past 7 games and are 12-1-4 this season. They head to Kane this Wednesday for their final NJAC game of the regular season, looking to remain undefeated in conference play. Let's wrap up this week's rush with field hockey. The Red Hawks had an uphill battle facing #1 nationally ranked Rowan, trying to improve their odds of making the NJAC playoffs. MSU opened the score in the second quarter with a Carly Van Tassel goal, her team leading 8th, giving the Hawks the 1-0 lead. But Rowan was just too much for the Red Hawks, falling 3-1 to the Profs. Field hockey's regular season record now stands at 9-7 and are 3-2 against NJAC competition. Let's see where the team stands right now in the NJAC. Women's soccer is second just behind the undefeated Rowan. They should get the first round bye playing on November 2nd. And volleyball is 5th in that 16 field, starting their playoff run on November 1st, and field hockey currently sits 4th in their 4-team table. They'll play on the 2nd as well. Tune in next week when we preview all of the matchups.
Elaine hops kick out. Jackson, another three, and another one.
Last season, both the men's and women's basketball team fell short of what is the ultimate goal every season, an NJAC title. The men lost to Stockton 92-78 in the semifinals, and the women suffered a heartbreaking final second loss in the quarterfinals to NJCU.
The season for NJCU. They get it into Rodriguez. Working baseline floater. It's good!
It's with these moments in mind, the teams begin their practices, ready to take steps towards changing history.
I think guys did a great job in the summer on their own by themselves at home, preparing themselves, and then we'll use these first couple weeks, try to fine-tune as many things as we can and get ready for the start of the season.
You know, I think that they have a lot of work to do. You know, we have been a little off for the last couple of years from that goal. I think we've got to get better defensively. I think we got to get better rebounding and just play a little bit more team basketball. But I think this group can do that, and I think they're dedicated to that mission.
The teams have brought back some key players like Nikki Carter and Mike Jackson. Carter is 27 points away from reaching 1,000 career points, with Mike Jackson coming off a breakout freshman season with 265 points, only behind Steve Breedman and Irv Callender. The men's side lost Callender, and coach knows he'll be a tough piece to replace.
Yeah, I think, you know, we can't replace Irv with one guy. He had a great senior year for us, did a lot of things at both ends of the floor, was an all-conference player. So I think we're going to have to do that by committee.
The biggest goal we're hoping to see this year as a team is obviously win the NJAC. We have one empty spot on that banner you can see back there, so we're trying to fill that. We think about that in everything we do. That's our main focus.
It wasn't just current players returning to the court this preseason. Coach Harvey invited Melissa Tobey to share her wisdom with the team. Harvey believes Tobey is only second to Carol Blazowski and the best player in MSU women's basketball history.
Watching the team still have success means a lot to me, so I've been following since I finished playing, and it's really fun to be able to come back and stay in the loop and help the team, you know, reach that top level of performance.
The teams are only starting their journey, with the captains setting the tone for the newcomers.
I don't think we plan on doing anything different. I think we're going to keep the same strategy, whereas we're going to work them in and we're going to work them hard. And upperclassmen are going to be there for them for when they're, you know, struggling or having a tough day because they're trying to learn about what college basketball is all about.
It's growth. It's growth, honestly. Like in years prior, we haven't, like we've always said that we were this team and we haven't necessarily done what we wanted to do throughout the season. And it's just growing individually and growing as a team and growing as a program for years to come on.
Coach Harvey knows that every second spent on the court cannot be wasted. Every sprint, every drill, and every jump shot.
You know, we're working on our defense. We're putting in some offensive things. So, you know, they're here every day getting extra shots up, and, you know, they're working hard.
As I said earlier, two players we'll be keeping an eye on are Nikki Carter and Mike Jackson. Will Carter hit that 1,000 mark? She thinks she'll do it on November 11th against Ithaca. And will Jackson hit a sophomore slump or continue his impressive start as a Red Hawk? As fall officially begins, so does the basketball season for both teams at Brooklyn College November 8th. The women's first NJAC matchup is November 22nd against none other than NJCU. And you can be sure they've been eyeing that game for 273 days.
That was a look at last year's homecoming festivities, and this year will be even bigger. On October 29th, RHSN is broadcasting live for the homecoming. This will be the biggest production the network has ever done, utilizing 10 cameras for the game. For pregame, we have our 7 interns all over talking about the game, reporting from the sidelines and in the booth. And we'll also be debuting the much anticipated documentary on Sam Mills with a plaque presentation to honor Mills' storied career. Pre-game starts at 12 and the game starts at 1 against Christopher Newport, so definitely come out to support the team and to be a part of our show.
Chris Butcha and Abajani Mendez have gone through a unique journey that has built a friendship to last a lifetime. From long-term rivals to college teammates and now sharing the same number. They're the Uno Duo.
Abajani Mendez, running back.
Chris Butcha, defensive end. Yeah, so Uno Duo, I mean, I like that definitely for sure. I mean, like I said, obviously, you know, both of us were number one, so I mean, like the brotherhood is just, it grows more and more, and so that's gonna be a thing that's gonna be forever spoken. Like I said, at his wedding, my wedding, we'll talk about it, how we were the Uno Duo in college, and it's just gonna forever like grow and everything like that. And I think that's definitely a nice thing, you know. Schools are gonna know about the Uno Duo for sure.
Since I was a youngin', I decided to pick one just because of that phrase, number one in the field, number one in your heart type, you know, and I just always wanted to be that, you know, that number one person.
When I was a little kid, you know, I was always being told I can't really wear like low digit numbers and always being like a bigger guy. I never got the opportunity to, so coming to Montclair, they gave me the opportunity, and I like it. Just like Johnny says, if you ever watch the movie Game Plan, they say number one in the field, number one in your heart, so it's the same thing. My favorite moment wearing number one is probably just against WPI. I got my first career sack and stuff like that, and I haven't worn it for too long, but I mean, definitely many more memories and many more moments to come for sure.
My favorite moment wearing number one was my first state championship at MetLife Stadium.
Me and Johnny were playing in the All-Star game, and I found out he was going to Montclair, and the first day I moved in, I just looked over, and Johnny was my suite mate. And you know, in high school, you know, each brother for Rutherford, we kind of had like a little rivalry. So I really didn't like, me and Johnny weren't the bestest friends. You know, we would talk trash to each other here and there, and it was just whatever, like that kind of thing with each other. But coming here, I seen him, and then eventually me and him walked to the meeting together the first day, and ever since then we just hung out.
I had no idea that Chris was gonna be my suite mate, and it honestly turned out being awesome because we ended up switching roommates and being able to be in the same room together. And honestly, that freshman year vibe was awesome, and it was a great experience for sure. Uno Duo, like DJ Khaled says, I like that.
Although they both have their similarities, like being stellar athletes, bearing the number one at MSU, going to high school in the same town, and being the same age, Butcha and Mendez also have their own personal flairs, which is what makes the pair so special.
Kickers and punters, a position that doesn't get much time in the spotlight unless your name is either Adam Vinatieri or Justin Tucker. But that doesn't mean that they don't have a personality. So let's take a look at what it means to be a kicker by one football player here at Montclair.
Let's go now.
Hi, I'm sophomore kicker and punter Mike Fitzpatrick, number 93 for the Montclair State Redhawks. Being a specialist is an awesome thing. I mean, we have a really good group of guys in the specialist room. We're all very close, and it's a really great time that we have together. Becoming a specialist was definitely something that was hard for me. I transitioned over from soccer as a soccer player, and becoming a kicker and punter wasn't very easy. There's a lot of different mechanics to it, but it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. Being part of this team is one of the best decisions I've ever made, and I wouldn't change being a specialist for anything. Practices for us are very unique. It's unlike any other position on the field, as everyone knows. We have different types of periods. We're always working, we're always moving, but specialists are kind of like pitchers for baseball. You know, you're going to be doing different types of things because our bodies work a little bit differently.
No, just personal. That was money.
There's a lot of pressure on kickers and punters, especially in big situations, big games. Every kick matters, every punt matters. No matter what, you're being watched. You're the only one on the field at that time, and your job matters the most. The pressure really shouldn't get to you. As a kicker, you have to have a level-headed mind, make sure you have short-term memory, and always look forward to the next kick. The relationship on the team between the kickers, punters, coaches, and everyone else is awesome. We don't get treated any differently. You know, if you can take a few jokes here and there, it makes it even better, but all these players, all the coaches, staff on Montclair is awesome. They treat us all with respect, just like we're any other players. That's the quarterbacks who get treated, the wide receivers, the linemen. We're just as important as everyone else, and they understand that. The role on the team is definitely unlike any other, and we know our job is to kick balls and win games and be an asset. You know, as a kicker, you can't be a liability, you have to be an asset. And I feel that everyone on the team understands that, and that's why we are such a good team.
Sophomore kicker Michael Fitzpatrick has already made 7 appearances this season for the Redhawks. He's only had 1 field goal so far, with it being 28 yards during the game against Kane. His longest punt was 79 yards during his game against Salva Regina. With the excitement for playoffs at an all-time high, it's easy to forget about regular season play, but there's still a few big matchups coming our way.
Oh yeah, Oscar, you definitely don't want to miss the women's soccer matchup at home against Kane Wednesday night, and be sure to catch the resilient field hockey team in action on Saturday at 1, taking on the Lions of TCNJ in Ewing.
You can keep up with all of this by following us on Instagram and TikTok at RedHawkSN if you don't already.
Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week.